Hey everybody, here's a quick summary of the half-hour Fireside Chat that Iron Gate released today about the upcoming Hearth & Home update. Number 1, Hearth & Home was originally supposed to just be a tweaking of the food system and adding more foods, but it exploded into so much more. Number 2, shingle roofs are coming. They've actually had a shingle roof prototype for more than a year now, but weren't able to implement it in time for the early access release. Number 3, black metal has a green tint because it's made by the Fuelings, who are green. Number 4, Iron Gate isn't nerfing things in the game such as food and bows. They're rebalancing them to better fit the enemies, armors, and other situations. Number 5, they want everyone to know that they never intended for everyone to like Valheim. They want to go with Richard's vision in hopes of appealing to a very specific crowd. Number 6, this update is about the Hearth & Home. It's not the Adventure Combat and Explore update. Number 7, expect more updates and tweaks to the rebalances after the release of Hearth & Home. They want you to report things that seem wrong and over or underpowered. Number 8, here's what we can expect from Hearth & Home. New foods, new build pieces, a new weapon, new shields, and 1 or 2 new skills. Also, new user interface changes, new map functionality, and more settings, including new graphic optimizations and settings. Number 9, how does the Hearth & Home update affect your current worlds and builds? It won't affect your builds. You can continue playing in your current world. But to get the new content, you have to explore new areas that you haven't been to yet. For example, they added some new locations to the plains biomes. You'll need to go to unexplored plains in order to find them. Number 10, the new food system won't make you a traditional tank character, but will make you more tanky if you prefer that playstyle. Number 11, combat currently favors stamina over health because you can avoid damage easier with more stamina. With Hearth & Home, they've rebalanced it so that health will be a bit more of a concern when it comes to food choices. Number 12, currently there are a few best weapons that everyone tends to use. With Hearth & Home, weapons have been rebalanced so that the best weapon should be based on your playstyle preference. For example, knives weren't very useful, but they'll be the fastest weapon in the game, making them a more viable option. Axes and swords were the same speed and damage, but with Hearth & Home, axes will now do more damage but be a little slower than swords. And the two-handed axe has also been tweaked, so it'll be a more viable option now compared to other weapons. 13. They mentioned that they've only revealed about 50% of the changes coming in Hearth & Home. Number 14. They said it's important to note that Valheim is not an MMORPG where they need to retain players forever. It will have a definitive ending where you will beat the game. Eventually, there will be nothing more to do. That's when you go play another game. That's the way games used to be, and they're kind of old school that way. 15. They don't want to hire more people to crunch out tons of content. They make games because they love making games and want to be the ones making them. Number 16. They're considering a console and Mac release, but they want to focus on the Steam PC release first. It would be at least 2 years away if it comes at all. No promises. 17. The MISTLANDS update will be next and will most likely be a bigger update than Hearth & Home. It'll include new creatures and a new boss, and probably new ships, new building pieces, and more game overhauls. 18. Expect more smaller updates to come after Hearth & Home. 19. Richard hopes people will create a new world to play in because they've added and changed so much. It's not required, but he thinks you'll have a better experience if you do. Play it fresh.
Play it fresh. Yeah. Be fresh. Play it fresh. Thank you.
That's it for now. More to come after Hearth & Home drops.